Hey you, can I come in? I know I said I'd call you, but I need to talk to you about something really important, and it's better done in person. How are you feeling? Good. I'm glad that Mila's remedy is helping you. You're looking much better than you were a few weeks ago. You sound better too. Your pulse sounds much heartier. Get it? Heart, ear? Too much? Right. Well, you brought this on yourself. Once you started talking to me every day, you became the target of my really bad puns. Come on, don't give me that look. I think secretly you like them. Don't worry. I won't tell anyone what a comedic genius you think I am. I'm sorry about the obscure phone call this morning. I hope it didn't put you on edge. I had to take care of some things. Some unexpected things, to say the least. Complicated things. Yeah, I know, we agreed. Nothing withheld. I'm not trying to hide it from you at all. In fact, it's quite important for you to know. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to approach the topic. It's rather delicate. Would you like to? Well, no. You won't like this at all, I think. But I believe it's the best course of action if you were to... Will you move in with me? Temporarily. Okay, yeah, that look is kind of what I was expecting. Let me rewind. There may be a group of extremist, psychotic vampires ritualistically murdering people in order to wake an ancient deity called the King, who's hell-bent on the destruction of humanity. That's worse, isn't it? Right. Double rewind. There's some bad stuff going on right now, and I would feel much better if you were closer to me so that I could better keep you safe. Hence the moving in with me part. I just think that it's a strong possibility that things are going to get very bad. I promised that I would protect you, and that promise stands. I think it would be much easier for me to protect you this way. Of course, if you refuse, I won't force you. But okay, let me take it from the top. You remember what I told you about Malachi? How he got into some really bad stuff? Well, I don't mean he just tortured people or killed them. He did. And that, of course, is really bad in itself. But he got into some serious dark stuff. Occult stuff, black magic stuff, demonic stuff. He became very fixated on this creature, revered by many of those who knew about him to be some sort of deity, referred to in most lore as simply the King. It was hard to gather information on it. It was spread far and thin, and there was barely a thread of legend, even in some of the oldest, most remote civilizations. But Malachi was persistent, and with the help of his other children, they were able to amass an impressive collection on the King. Malachi became convinced that the King was the first vampire, the father of our race. Everything he found on the King dictated that he was an abominable being of immense power, who sought only destruction and brought only damnation. At this point, I was already gone. I had renounced Malachi for decades before it came to light to the rest of us what he was doing. It was the final nail in his proverbial coffin. He couldn't be allowed to carry on with his scheme. He was intercepted and dealt with. All the knowledge that Malachi had amassed was either destroyed or locked away. Recently, there's been some incidents. I'm sure you've seen on the news that there's been a string of violent homicides in some areas of the city. I believe they're citing it as an increase in gang activity. Well, it's not, and there is a lot more than the masses are being made aware of. They're being pretty well covered up by the vampires in the system. Early this morning, I got a call from a vampire who sits on the council. He asked to meet with me privately and informed me of these homicides. He gave me copies of the files and the crime scene reports and the photos. I recognized them as being ritualistic because I had seen similar methods being implemented by Malachi. So, it is the fear of the council, and pretty much everyone who knows about this, that someone is trying to pick up where Malachi left off. Trying to wake the king. It's quite possible that this is going to get much worse before it gets better. And I find it hard to believe that it's not somehow connected to your dream of Malachi. I'm apprehensive of the situation. I'll need time to figure out what to do about it, but I would just really like to have you by my side. To protect you, that is. I'll be able to watch over you much easier. I won't let anything happen to you regardless. I would just feel better if... Oh, really? Okay. Thank you. I'll help you pack up. I know that this is sudden and a rather inconvenient change, so I'd like to offer to pay your bill on your apartment while you're staying with me. It wouldn't be right for you to have to continue to pay for something you're unable to use because of me. Please, let me. Money is not an object to me. I would feel better to know that I can help ease some of your burdens, since all of your recent stress is really my fault in the first place. Do you have questions? No, I don't believe that the king is the father of all vampires. He may be very old, or even one of the first, but I don't think he created the vampiric race. It's a rather antiquated idea that we can be traced back to a single entity. It's a widely held belief that vampires are just people who have contracted a very evolved form of disease. It's just the source of this disease that brings a lot of debate. Nephilim are far fewer than vampires and much more human. They're said to be descendants of angels. Most would agree that we're their opposite, descendants of demons. Not physically, but it's probable that they introduced the vampiric disease into the mortal world. After everything I've seen, I find it hard not to believe that. It's hard to say if we'll find out for certain, or if it even matters. Knowing where we're from wouldn't really change where we are, or where we want to go. but I do believe that the king poses a very real threat, and even more so, the zealots that worship him and what he stands for. Another question? Of course, you can ask me anything. A coffin? I'm not going to make you sleep in a coffin. Wait, do you think I sleep in a coffin? I have never slept in a coffin. I have standards, you know. Well, there's this one time. But that doesn't count. I have a very nice guest room that you can stay in. I don't even own a coffin, so don't worry about it. Honestly. I mean, you've seen me walk in the sunlight, and yet you would still think that I sleep in a coffin. Yeah, just don't ask me if I've ever sparkled. And don't make fun of my furniture this time either. Be nice, and I really will offer you the grand tour. Come on, let's finish up and get going before it gets dark. You can ask me any other ridiculous questions on the way. Are you ready? Don't worry. If you forget something, we can come back and get it. Or I can just get you a replacement. Obviously, I don't have any food at my house. Well, I have coffee and these little chip cracker things. Oh, no, they're not mine. They're Mila's. Yeah, she likes to snack when she comes over, so I always make sure to have some. No, Mila is not a vampire. Mila's a witch. It's okay. I can see where you'd be confused. Vampires and witches have been on the outs, to put it mildly, since, well, forever. There's a lot of bad blood between us, but we're making strides. A lot of hostility still exists between both sides, and I won't say that it's unjustified, but times have changed. Though you can't expect to sweep centuries of aggression to the side in the matter of a few decades, but we're working on it. I've known Mila for over 200 years. She's family, the only family I really have. Another question. All right, shoot. No, not all vampires can walk in the sun. Very few can do so, and it's very difficult to obtain this ability. There's a procedure of sorts you must undergo, and there's a lot of requirements you must meet to attempt it. 1, you must be of strong lineage, old blood. New blood or watered down blood won't take. Secondly, it involves a ritual which requires objects that are not exactly easy to obtain. Third, you need a witch, a powerful witch. Also hard to get since most witches would rather die than aid a vampire, especially back then. No, this was long before Mila's time. It took a lot of convincing for Malachi to allow it. Although I'm his first direct descendant, I've always been rather frail, unfortunately. Because I was already rotting of the plague when Malachi turned me, some of that carried over, prevented me from being as strong as I should have been. Malachi feared that because of this, the procedure wouldn't take. But I missed the sun so badly that I almost thought it would be worth burning to ashes just for the few seconds I could feel it on my skin. So, eventually, Malachi reluctantly agreed, and it worked. Here we are. Please do come in. I don't know how much you remember from the last time, but to your left is the foyer, basically where I keep all my instruments. I don't know if you play, but if you do, feel free. Just be gentle. Back that way, the kitchen, which you saw. To your right, through those doors, is the library. Feel free to read stuff. Down the hall is the living room. It has a television, if you like television. Bedrooms upstairs. Follow me. Sorry, guess I'm not really great at this whole tour guide thing. I don't have very many visitors. But this here is your room. I hope it will be okay for a while. You have your own bathroom. Down the hall is another room. It stays locked, so don't worry about it. Across from there is my room, where I sleep in a fantastic 4-poster bed, and not a coffin. Those stairs at the end of the hall go up to the roof. Feel free to venture up if you'd like. I think that's about it. Are you hungry? I can order you something while you get situated. Anything you want. Alright. Sounds good. I'll go call. Shh. Did you hear that? Someone's in the house. Stay here. Lock the door. I'll be back.